Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the weekend. It looks like that a lot of traders are still off. Historically, the last 2 weeks of August are always extremely slow. The last 2 weeks of August, of course, is the time of the year when everybody on the mainland comes to Maui. So that is where everyone is at, in case you are wondering, as I cannot drive anywhere on this island without running into traffic. But anyway, the Nasdaq rallied on extremely low volume. The New York Stock Exchange, same such similar situation, extremely low volume. It was one of those extreme days where a ton of stocks were up and barely any stocks were down. And I tell you what, on huge volume, I'm extremely bullish on that. But on no volume and almost light holiday like trading volume. It's just not extremely bullish to me, but at the same time, I am completely unbiased with this market. I realize that we're in August and September, 2 weeks left in August, the two slowest time trading weeks of the year. And I always remind everybody, never short a dull market. So the next 2 weeks are going to probably be dull, which means we have an upside bias, and that leads us perfectly into the worst month of the year, going back to 1929 in the market and 1950 on the S&P 500 as far as I have researched. So just keep that in mind. If we break out here and continue to run higher, it doesn't mean that we're necessarily safe and heading on to new highs, but we very well could be, because the good news is that this evening in my scans, I tell you what, they were thick, but I did notice there are a lot more patterns that, thanks to this market kind of drifting sideways, I guess, overall the past week, they're starting to calm down, and I'm starting to flag more stocks. It doesn't mean they can succeed. They're all missing one key ingredient, volume, so that's huge. But the bottom line is that I am starting to see more stocks out there. So we are patching up some of the rough patches that we saw just recently, and earnings season is basically over. So all of the wild volatility post earnings is going to be out of the way. So we'll see what this market wants to do as it shapes up. Just looking really quick at the momentum oscillators on the NASDAQ, you can see nowhere near oversold. We're still moving lower. The good news is that the market's holding in. So if we don't start selling off and we hold in and get oversold and start to move higher, yeah, new highs. Why not? I mean, look at the home builders. I mean, brand new highs. Look at Toll Brothers and XHB. I mean, I tell you what, if you just show me a chart of the home builders and tell me how the market's doing, I'm telling you right now, the market is also at new highs right now. So to find out that it's not at all-time highs, I'd be like, oh, well, it's going to eventually catch up, because I don't know how you have a strong housing market and not a strong stock market. But overall, look at the Russell 2000. Oscillators not extremely oversold, but look, it looks like the MACD and the TSV are trying to turn up. Stochastic, same similar situation, kind of getting into a tight little, you know, triangle pennant-like formation off the lows. Normally those resolve themselves higher after such a long time of trending lower. But you can see the RSI, while still trending lower, it looks like it's trying to maybe to round out. So I don't know. I'd keep an open mind out there. Maybe this year, September is an extremely bullish month for stocks, with volume or without volume. So, we'll see. Right now, I'm completely open-minded to everything. With that, because of today's gains, going to have to start moving around some stops. SRTY is actually closing below the 20-day moving average on heavier volume. So what I want to do is I want to put half my sell stop here, and then probably break up my sell stops now to here and here. And I tell you what, if SRTY takes out this low, it's going to easily then probably end up taking out this low, but it just shouldn't take out this low. So either what I could do is I could put half here, and or make this the new 25%, put 25% here, 25% here, and 25% here, which I am more inclined to do than anything else, but we'll see. I'm not completely sure. All I do know is that it's closing below the 20-day moving average and above average volume. That's a technical 50% sell signal, but I think that in this market environment, I want to keep my hedges on. So I might override the 50%, make it 25%, and then stagger 1, 2, 3 sell stops on these. I already have 4 sell stops on the book. I'm not sure exactly where my levels are now. I'm thinking, though, that it's like here. That's what it is. It's here, it's here, it's here, and here. This one's going to be eliminated, and these 3 are going to be in play with now the new sell stop level. So SRTY, 50% end of day signal. And DRV finally closing below this low right here, the original signal date. So now a total loss in the position of 10% of whatever you have remaining. However, I was completely knocked out of the stock. Back Gotta look at it again back here. So I've been gone all the way since June, and my final sell basically left me with a 2.5% loss. So DRV is also out. Now with DRV being a full sell, SRTY being a 50% sell, and us needing to move around the sell stops on BIS and TEX just to make sure that we don't lose too much if the market does decide to break. XES also, half of that got knocked out whenever it moved below 21.12 intraday today. So intraday I got knocked out of 50% of XES. It was a 50% sell signal on Friday. So despite all that, got some long signals. Now there's one long signal I received today in my CanSlim scan that was confirmed in my new 52-week highs on above average volume scan that I'm not taking. Very, very nice chart. One of our chat room members is already long with a 24% gain in this one, probably from back here. Nope, from even further. So good job. But I can't go long. Earnings are on the 19th after the market close. That's just too soon. I do like the pattern. Maybe if this signal today, even though it pocket pivot point on Friday and I flagged it, maybe a volume surge was like it was on Friday, maybe I would risk that to the 19th because I had the weekend. But with the 19th just being around the corner, I'm going to pass on SNPS. And then KFRC, I told everyone I've set buy stops on it just above this high, 28.65. I was filled around 28.70, 28.71. Probably after commissions, everything, 28.72 is my final cost. But so I'm now long. But on an end-of-day basis, even though it's lower volume, that's a solid breakout and a huge earnings and sales growth stock. Very nice technical pattern. It's in my max green bop for 5-day scan and my green bop for 20-day scan, confirming that move. So KFRC ended up getting 1% of my account capital along this name. Now all of our recent long positions are pretty much working overall. BYD, CTXS, what was the other one? ThinkBrain, FR, think that even pocket pivot point today. So I'm going to slowly increase the capital of these new long positions. BCO I flagged on Friday, passed on it because it didn't close. If it would have closed at 30.49, its high day, it would have been a new long signal because it would have closed above 30.41. So I wanted to get above 30.41. It did that by 30 cents today at least. 30.78 is the close on above average volume. BOP is slightly higher than the session before, so that's a second positive. And you get a back-to-back pocket pivot point signal confirmation. So 1.5% of the account capital, slow build, like I said. Low volume in the overall market makes me suspect. First sell stop below 29.84. Final sell stop below 29.01. But BCO, I really like this stock, and it's actually a defensive sector that should do well or hold up if the market does rally and then sell off eventually because of the poor overall market condition. And then the next long, BCO was not confirmed in any other scan, but still it's the best looking stock. LMAT, CanSlim quality stock, confirmed in my price volume BOP surge scan and my max green BOP for 5 days scan. Pocket pivot point signal a bit risky. The first sell stop is below 13.59 and the final one is all the way down to 12.42. You could also use 12.75. I'm going to have 12.42, but if it doesn't move higher immediately and closes below low, knocks me out of half, then I'll probably split it up between that low and whatever the next low ends up being if this signal on the 17th fails in itself. But 1.5% in LMAT. It might be 1%, I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel. And then MD, 1.5% in MD, breaking out to new highs. This was confirmed in my new 52-week high scan. CanSlim quality stock, breakout, pocket pivot point signal, higher volume, higher BOP. Very nice technical pattern overall. And then also MD, LMAT, BCO, KFRC. Going to add to Tile. Tile is a 1% add position. This was also confirmed in the price volume BOP scan. CanSlim quality stock, pocket pivot point signal, surge in BOP, surge in volume right at the 50-day moving average. Extremely excellent looking technical pattern following this overall market environment. And then I actually have a speculative long. I'm going to go ahead and attempt DERM. This is going to be 0.5% of my account capital in DERM. I love the max green BOP. It was recently in an IPO. In the IPO scan, I was watching it every day during this entire rally. Now it only showed up in the BOP for max green for 5 days scan, but we don't risk much if we're wrong on a speculative position. It's a good looking technical setup.